Lake Shasta, about 1967. My family loved to boat during the summers. We're from California, and we had a neighboring family that their children were the same age as us, and we all got along quite well. So we decided this year to go to Lake Shasta to ski, to boat, to investigate the lake. And we had another married couple join us that year. So we had 3 boats on the water. We had great fun of skiing and just enjoying the sun and splashing in the water. I was young and I didn't swim, so I had a ski vest on me that my father would tie in his naval knots. He would tie this vest so tight on me that he even had a hard time untying the knots at the end of the day. We found a shoreline. It was a rocky shoreline with a lot of forest trees, and we decided that this would be a good place for lunch, that we could break and have some lunch and rest and enjoy the splashing of the water onto the shore. There was 4 of us kids and 6 adults. And so the men were unloading the coolers and the women were setting up for lunch. And I told my mother I had to go to the bathroom. And she said, go behind that first tree right there and then come right back. And it was only maybe 10 yards away. So I had my bathing suit on with that ski vest and my flip-flops. And I made my way up to the tree, and then I looked and I decided that everybody could still see me, even though no one was paying attention. And so I went back a little bit farther into the forest so I could not be seen. And as I was finding the tree I wanted, I was hoisted up by something unforeseen that came up quickly behind me. It lifted me up so high that I could see the midstream of the trees. I lost my flip-flops when it hoisted me up, and I was facing the trees. I was facing out, and all I saw was an arm that was holding me tight, and the arm hair was really long and red, like amber red. And then there was a hand in front of my face, and this hand was rough and gray looking, and it was like protecting my face, because I could hear the branches of the trees break as we were running through the forest. And we were going so fast that it felt like a Disney ride, that we were going so fast. And my legs began to get cut because of the branches hitting my legs. And I don't know how whatever this was holding me knew to lift my legs up. So it cradled me into a fetal position. And then my face was facing the chest of this thing, and I could hear its breathing. The breathing was really heavy and loud, and the breaking of the branches I remember. And then nothing. I don't remember a thing after that. The story will continue with my mom's point of view. As my mom was getting ready for lunch, and my father came up to her and said, "Where's Rob?" That's what they used to call me. And she says, "She's right there behind that tree going to the bathroom. Will you check on her?" So my dad walks up and goes, "Rob, Rob." And there's no answer. So he goes a little bit deeper into the forest and he finds my flip-flops scattered on the forest floor. And he's looking around, saying my name, and louder, which alarmed my mother. She rose up and she ran to his side. I was nowhere. The alarm of my father alarmed the other men and family members. The women kept the children at bay, not letting them realize anything had happened, and the men were soon scouring the forest area, yelling my name. There was 3 of them combing the forest. One of the men that was riding a boat with us, he was a ambulance driver, and he decided to go to a side cove and just kind of look around the water to see if I decided I wanted to find a swimming hole of my own, which I don't swim. So he combed this area, yelling my name, and there was nothing. So he turned to walk away, and as he turned and walked away, he heard a splash in the water, which caught his attention, and that's when he saw me. He saw my little body facing down with my life vest next to me. He ran into the water and grabbed me, and he brought me to shore, and he started reviving me. I wasn't in the water but 4 seconds, so I revived easily. He noticed the scratches on my leg, and my legs were bleeding a bit. And he yelled for my father that he found me, that he found Robyn. And my father and the other man rushed to his side. But before they reached him, he looked up and looked in the forest because something caught his eye. And he saw it. He saw it plainly, staring at him. And it disturbed him what he saw. So my father reaches me and grabs me and asks me why I ran away and how did I get in the water, and one of the men retrieved my life vest that was floating in the water. And he goes, "How did you get this life vest off you? I even have a hard time getting this off you." And I shook my head, I didn't know. And he goes, "What happened, Robyn? What happened?" And I think I was in shock. I just didn't know. I didn't remember. So we ended that day, and we went back to the cabin, and the man that found me was silent. He was disturbed by something he saw that day. So my parents talked to me and asked me if a man stole me and took me. I was gone for a few hours before they found me. And I didn't know. I didn't remember. I couldn't tell them anything. My parents decided that a man must have taken me. And my mom examined me thoroughly, and they went to the ranger. All the men did, and my mother. And the man that was with them talked to the ranger that he saw something in the forest that day. And the ranger asked him what he saw. And he said, "You're going to think I'm crazy, but I think I saw a monster." And he never spoke of it again. He didn't talk to my parents of it, and him and his wife left with their boat that day. And we never saw them again. My mother and father tried to question me, and I couldn't remember. All I remembered is the long red hair and the gray hand and the sound of the heavy breathing, and that I was really high. I was really high up off the ground, and the speed that this thing was running was like a ride. I kept telling them it was like a Disney ride. Years later, I kind of forgot about that event, and years later, living in Boise, Idaho, I live by a hill, and I see many things at night, foxes and coyotes, but we're in a neighborhood. I have a very large tree by my house. I have a window and a couch, and it was a very hot night, and I had the window open, and it was just a screen. It was about 9 o'clock at night, and I was facing that window working on my computer, and I felt something watching me. Let me tell you, this is only about 5 steps away from me. Only a screen dividing me and what was watching me. And when I looked up, and let me tell you, I live on a corner lot with a street light, and when I looked up, I saw a Sasquatch face from the nose up. And I could see the shine of the head from the street light, and it was black, and its eyes were very round. Its head filled the opened window from just the nose up. The lights then shone at me like car lights. I had a Yorkie dog laying by my side, and it didn't even budge. There was no smell and no sound. And once the lights came on in this Sasquatch, in the eyes, it froze me. I was paralyzed, and I couldn't look away. It was around 9 o'clock that happened, and then the Sasquatch lowered its head down, and once the eyes and the head were gone from my sight, it was like I woke up. I could move again. And I jumped up off the couch and I ran into my bedroom scared, with my dog still sleeping on the couch. And I paced in my room knowing that I had just seen a Sasquatch, and all that was dividing the Sasquatch from me was a little screen. I didn't know what to do. I knew I had to shut my window. I felt panicked that I had to shut the window, because what if it reached in? And I was scared. So I came back into the front room and walked slowly to the window and shut it and locked it. I went back into my bedroom and I grabbed my laptop and my dog and I closed my bedroom door. Looking down at my laptop, I realized I lost 2 hours of time. The next day, I went outside to see if there's any prints, and there was not. But what there was in that spot was twigs broken and placed in X's. There were several of them placed as an X. I thought, how tall is this window up? I'm 5'5", and so the top of my head goes to the bottom of the window. So either it was squatting down or it wasn't very tall, about 6 foot or 6'7". I live in a neighborhood. How could no one see that large creature standing at my window? It was perplexing to me, and how did it get here without anybody seeing it? I do believe that trees can transport them, that they can be portals for them. Somehow I have this connection to the Bigfoot, as I am a psychic at this time and have been for many years. And when I was working on a cold case for a family in Chicago, Illinois, I had an apparition before this event of a Sasquatch, a white Sasquatch. And this Sasquatch wanted to give me messages. And I let it, because the messages were beautiful for mankind. They were beautiful from a Sasquatch telling me of their world and of their lives and who they are and why they are here. I have given many channeling sessions on my YouTube channel about this Sasquatch. I could not keep these messages to myself. They are too beautiful and too important. And I let you decide if you believe them or not. I'm just the messenger. For some reason, Sasquatch have a connection to me. And I've looked one right in the eyes. And I had one carry me through a forest when I was young. And I lived through that. I let you decide what you feel is true or not true. All I can tell you is my story. Thank you.